World Health Organization raises its pandemic alert for swine flu to the second highest level. Premier Wen Jiabao and his Japanese counterpart Taro Aso discuss issues including bilateral ties and the global economic downturn. Hello and welcome to Worldwide Watch on CCTV International. I'm Liang Hu in Beijing. The World Health Organization has raised its pandemic alert for swine flu to the second highest level. The move means that it believes a global outbreak of the disease is imminent. Li Na has more.
The WHO Director General Margaret Chan declared the Phase 5 alerts after consulting with flu experts from around the world.
All countries should immediately now activate their pandemic preparedness plans. Countries should remain on high alert for unusual outbreaks of influenza-like illness and severe pneumonia. At this stage, effective and essential measures include heightened surveillance, early detection and treatment of cases, and infection control in all health facilities.
The decision could lead the global body to recommend additional measures to combat the outbreak. This would include vaccine manufacturers switching production from seasonal flu vaccines to a pandemic vaccine. A Phase 5 alert also means there is sustained transmission among people in at least 2 countries. If the virus shows effective transmission in 2 different regions of the world, a full pandemic outbreak, the WHO's Phase 6 would be declared. Li Na, CCTV.
The number of confirmed cases of swine flu is rising. The World Health Organization says there are now 148 confirmed cases across the globe. The epicenter, Mexico, is still the most seriously affected. More than 159 deaths there are believed to have been caused by the disease, and about 2,500 people are believed to have been infected. The U.S. is reporting 91 confirmed cases with 1 death. Canada has 19, while Costa Rica has 1 confirmed case. The virus is also spreading in Europe. There are 5 cases in Britain, 4 in Spain, 3 in Germany and 1 in Austria. Other countries with confirmed cases are New Zealand with 14, Australia 1 and Israel with 2 cases. Suspected cases of human infection have been reported across Latin America and Europe, including Venezuela, Guatemala and El Salvador, as well as South Korea and Thailand. As we just heard, the United States has confirmed its first death caused by swine flu. It's the second country to confirm a swine flu death after Mexico. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention confirmed on Wednesday the death of a toddler infected with the swine flu virus. A 23-month-old boy from Mexico had traveled with his family to Texas. Health officials insisted the case posed no further threat of infection.
Appropriate infection control measures were taken during every time of his hospitalization. Samples were sent to the Centers for Disease Control for confirmatory testing on April 28th, and we received confirmation of H1N1 flu from the CDC very early this morning.
With the death of the toddler in the States, President Barack Obama has suggested that school closures may be necessary to prevent the swine flu from spreading.
It's also the recommendation of our public health officials that schools with confirmed or suspected cases of H1N1 should strongly consider temporarily closing so that we can be as safe as possible. If the situation becomes more serious and we have to take more extensive steps,
Obama assured the public that the federal government is prepared to do whatever is necessary to control the impact of the epidemic. He also urged health agencies in local communities to be vigilant about identifying suspected cases and reporting them in a timely manner. As more swine flu cases are reported around the world, Asian countries are taking measures to fight against and the spread of infection. Zhang Nan has more.
South Korean health authorities say 5 individuals are being tested for swine flu. They have recently returned from trips to Mexico or the United States and are showing flu-like symptoms. In New Zealand, health authorities gave the all-clear on Wednesday for a group of students and a teacher to return to school after they were put in isolation following a swine flu scare. A 42-year-old Thai woman returning home from Mexico, who was earlier suspected to have been infected with swine influenza, has been declared free of infection. Thailand is stepping up efforts to keep the swine flu at bay as officials closely monitor pigs. The Australian has approved tough new powers to detain and disinfect people suspected of carrying swine flu as authorities await test results from 91 suspected cases. Nan'an, CCTV.
Chinese Vice Premier Li Keqiang has inspected the disease prevention efforts here in Beijing. He called for high alert and full preparation for any outbreak of swine flu in China. Li inspected a major checkpoint and the luggage hall of the Beijing International Airport, an important gateway into the country. He stressed the importance of a tight inspection and quarantine measures for passengers and cargo, especially those from affected regions. He also called for high alert and quick response to any possible emergencies. Li also went to Beijing Center for Disease Control, where he urged direct and timely reporting of the disease. He also required medical institutions to be fully prepared with sufficient stocks of disease prevention materials. No human cases of swine flu have been reported in China, but local authorities are stepping up preventative measures in response to the global outbreak. Border control points have strengthened surveillance measures. Pig farms and slaughterhouses are also tightening monitoring and quarantine.
Civil aviation authorities issued an emergency notice demanding that all flights from epidemic-stricken areas be sterilized. Passengers on those flights should use special passages. As Shanghai is the only mainland city receiving flights from Mexico, the Pudong Airport is requiring the 2 planes traveling to and from Mexico every week to park in designated isolated spots. In another southern major port, Ningbo, entry-exit inspection and quarantine authorities are stepping up their examinations of the ships from disease-affected regions. Now the sailors will receive health checks and the ship's food stocks will also be checked for pork from the affected regions. In the northern border of Heilongjiang province and in Mongolia, health authorities launched around-the-clock inspections. All the vehicles passing the border are being sterilized, while people must have temperature checks. In the major pig-raising provinces of Hubei and Shandong, hundreds of epidemic prevention staff have been mobilized to give instruction to farmers. Inspection and quarantine departments progressed their work in slaughterhouses, from spot checks to inspecting the entire production line. Meanwhile, Hong Kong has ordered all the incoming passengers fill a health declaration form at the airport from May 1st. The measure is to cope with an increasing passenger flow during the May holiday. Yang Yan, CCTV.
Still to come after a short break. Premier Wen Jiabao and his Japanese counterpart will also discuss bilateral ties and the global economic downturn. And 2